Welcome to the You Need More Money podcast. I'm your host, Matt Manero, where I come to you every week from my studio in Dallas, Texas. I have to start with a huge shout out, a monster thank you for everyone who began to order the You Need More Money book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target. I'm starting to get the pre-order numbers coming in, and they're very, very impressive. So I want to thank everybody who took the time to do that. I want to thank everybody who has signed up to be at the book launch party in Las Vegas. That event is now sold out, so we don't have any more spots, and that's going to be exciting. That's February 21st at the rooftop of the Mandalay Bay, right before Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Con starts. Me, my buddy Coach Bird, Brad Lee, Hank Norman, maybe Cardone, maybe my buddy Ed Milet, maybe Tim Story. Who knows who else? But unfortunately, if you don't have your ticket, we are officially sold out. So thanks to everybody for this incredible support. You know, I was watching Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez over the weekend. I guess they launched a Facebook live video, and I just happened to catch that stream. The video is older, but I caught the stream over the weekend. And Ty Lopez asked Cardone, what advice would you give someone literally in the next 24 hours that they could do to change their money situation? And Cardone had a good answer, as he always does. I mean, the guy's the bomb. I'm a huge fan of Cardone. I haven't made up my opinion on Ty Lopez yet. I still can't quite figure out Ty Lopez. I mean, there's no doubt that the guy makes money, but, you know, Ty Lopez, to me, like, he's always like quoting somebody else's information. Like, he's constantly like quoting what Buffett said and what Steve Jobs said. I mean, one of my biggest goals in the podcast and writing the book and doing videos and any of my personal branding stuff is to let you know that I know what the hell I'm talking about, man. I mean, I busted my ass for 23 years. I've been screwed over more times by employees and customers and vendors, people that I thought were my friends. I don't need to quote nobody else. I know it freaking firsthand what it's like to start from zero and build something up. So that's what's weird with Ty Lopez. I know he makes money, but it's weird for me to understand how he makes his money and really where does his content specifically come from in real life. I know he's a voracious reader and a smart guy, but, you know, listen, man, my shit's tried and true. I began to ask myself the question, how would I answer that question? I said, what would I say to somebody? Now, I get asked a lot, you know, what can I do, you know, in this certain situation within my company? And my answer is usually the same to them. And I think my answer would be the same if I was asked, what advice would I give to somebody in the next 24 hours? And here it is. Within 24 hours, go ask for a raise. Now, you might think that's only for an employee situation. You might think that advice only works for an employee, but it's actually not true. It absolutely works for an employer, an entrepreneur, a company owner, because watch what happens. When you go in to ask for a raise, you're going to get an answer. If you're an employee, the answer is going to be, yeah, I'll give you a raise, or no, I'm not going to give you a raise. If you're an employer, you're going to go in and say, yes, there's money in the business to give me a raise, or, oh, there's no money in the business to give me a raise. That's the litmus test. That's the test that begins to show you whether or not you're producing value. So let's stay on the employee side for a minute. You go into your boss and say, I want a raise. And your boss is probably going to say, beat it. Go pound sand. Because you did it all wrong. And if you listen to the podcast that Bethany Williams and I talked about on the podcast, we absolutely laid out the strategy of what is the best way to get a raise. The first thing you have to do is create what we called your annual report. It's your highlight reel, man. It's what have you done well this year? What are the projects that you were in charge of that kicked ass and took names? What are the things you're most proud of, right? The second thing you have to do is you have to do your research to know what your position is paying in the marketplace. So where do you go? You go to Glassdoor for that. You go to salaries.com and you begin to look up how much does my job pay somewhere else? And you're going to find out you're underpaid or you're overpaid. If you're underpaid, you get to go in with your annual report, your highlight reel, with your data that tells you exactly how underpaid you are and what your ask is going to be, which is number 3. What is your ask, right? Because that's what a lot of people don't do. They just go in and ask for a raise. You need to ask for a number. And that number needs to be your I'm going to leave number. In other words, if I don't get paid this, I'm out. I don't want you to quit that day, right? But I want you to be thinking about it. I want you to be putting your resume out. I want you to be networking and trying to find this next move for you. So that's what happens when you ask for a raise as an employee. You get the result. Yes, you get the raise and what you asked for, hopefully, or you don't. And if you don't, you need to say this question to your boss. Could you please tell me why? And if you've got a good boss, they're going to tell you because, you kind of come in late and, you take your lunch at 12:01 and you usually don't come back until 8 minutes after 2. Like you kind of bend the rules a little bit, you drink a little bit too much coffee. You're always sort of like barely hitting your numbers. You kind of like piss some people off. You really, we've given you a few projects and you kind of flopped at them. You see, you're going to get the real answer, hopefully. You're going to get the truth. Now, what if they tell you you're just an amazing employee? You're unbelievable. You've done everything we've asked you. You're incredible. But, HR only lets us pay a 3% pay raise. That's just what your job pays. Well, guess what? You go home that night and you start posting your resume out there and you get ready to punt. Because as I said to you before, a 3% pay raise ain't never going to get you rich. If you're making $50,000 and you get let's make math easy and call it a 5% pay raise on a $50,000 salary, and you got a 5% pay raise, you just went to $52,500. Dude, you got $2,500 for the next year. That didn't help you on your mission to get rich. You need bigger moves. You need pay raises like 30, 40, 50%. And the only way you get them is when you have verifiable value to the organization. You've made yourself indispensable. You've solved problems that nobody else knows. You've created a secret sauce for yourself. And then you go get paid. Let's go to the employer side. Oh, this is my favorite. This is where the rubbers hit the road for me for the last 23 years. Because who do you go ask? Now, in my company, I could go ask my controller and say, I want to give myself a raise. And you know what a good controller is going to say? Are you sure you want to do that? Have you seen the balance? Are you really sure that you want to do that? And you know what a freakazoid company owner is going to say? Don't ask me what I'm going to do. It's my company. Give me the raise, right? And your comptroller will probably do it. A great company owner won't do that, though. A great company owner will say, what's going on? Why do you say that? Why are we a little short? Why do you think that that's not worthy? A super great company owner is going to say, well, I'll get my raise when the company meets the objectives, and I'll take it out as a bonus or a distribution from the company I own because I pay myself a steady salary, which my budget connects to, which my family's lifestyle is connected to. We can live on the base salary so we can get rich off of the bonus, which is based on the performance of the organization, right? But here's what most business owners do. I can't pay myself anything. There's no raise. There's no capability of giving me more money. That's your litmus test too. Bro, you're doing something wrong. Your business isn't operating as good as you thought it was, as smooth as you thought it was, as powerful, as robust. Maybe you're not the entrepreneur that you thought you were. That's the power that goes when in the first 24 hours, you know what you say to yourself? I need a raise. And you'll see everything you need to see, whether you're an employee or an employer. That's how I'd answer that question. What advice would you give somebody to fix their money situation, to take a stab, take action in the first 24 hours? I'd say go ask for a raise. I'll see you down the road.
That's our episode this week with your host, Matt Manero. Check us out every Friday at 12 p.m. Central as we discuss money, your life, and how you need more money.